Okay, I'm gonna do this before we start, so sort of get it out of the way.
Mm.
What's the deal with airplane food? Okay, now we can start.
With what? Why don't I remember anything?
Wow, that's a
Wow.
great time to tell us that.
Yeah.
I told you I don't remember anything from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
After
said,
having
have you
watched
watched
it,
it? And I said,
after having
yes.
watched it 4 times, you don't remember anything? I think we can
Are you
nudge your
recording?
Yeah, we are recording, but we will gonna omit these
Why
parts
not?
in
These are like
post.
some natural parts of the podcast. I think you should let them be.
Well, we will. Just let me start again and we can do this whole conversation again.
Fuck. Yes, it's another shitty podcast. 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 Yes, it's another shitty podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the third. No,
That was right.
yeah, the third season of YASP, short for Yet Another Shitty Podcast. I am Ali. Sadly, he is Amir.
Sadly, why is that a sad thing?
I don't know. I just can't imagine being you. So for me, it's a sad thing.
I see. Ah, the feelings are mutual. I can't imagine being you, so you're sadly Ali then. But let's move on to our guest.
If it helps, I can't imagine being myself either. So, haha, got you on that.
Well, you don't need to have an imagination for that.
Wow, fuck you. I mean, when we were doing the trailer, you promised something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, kind of.
You said that we're gonna have new guests, and so
Oh,
far
yeah.
we've stuck to that for our first episode, and we're gonna stick to that with our second episode. Welcome our brand new guest, Ghazal. Or is it Ghazal and he's been fucking with me?
No, it's Ghazal.
No, it is Ghazal.
Oh, okay.
It's Ghazal. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be myself and not you guys.
Wow. Okay.
Well, that's
First of all,
hurtful.
thank you for being happy to be here, and second of all, that's a really good first impression to be on a show to roast the host like
Exactly.
with the
Well, you were
second
roasting
sense
each
that.
other.
Well,
Well,
yeah, we've known
we've
each
been
other for a
doing
long
it for
time.
we've been doing it for 2 seasons.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
just wanted to fit in.
Well,
Okay. Well, thank you for your
Honestly.
output or input or whatever. Just put.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Well, before we started recording, and you might have heard this before in the cold open or not, it all depends on how I feel while I'm editing. I don't know how I feel right now. Azar doesn't know very much about our subject today, and which will ask us the question of why do we have her as a guest?
No, that's what she thinks. She's watched the show 4 times. She's just always like this. I think she's a bit
Goldfishy.
antsy about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I tend to forget everything I read and watch and do.
That's an amazing
It's some
tendency.
sort of yeah, no, I think it's some sort of defense mechanism at times, but I don't know why my brain does that to shows or books.
What are you defending against?
Hmm?
What are you defending against with
I
this
don't know.
mechanism?
It's all subconscious.
Oh, really? That's a good inconvenient excuse, isn't it? I don't know, just
It
defending itself from something, I guess. Okay.
No, I'm saying that it's just been wired that way to forget things as a defense
Oh, okay.
mechanism.
I
but
get it. Yeah.
yeah,
Now it makes more sense.
Yeah, it's been trained to forget.
Like when Amy forgets my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, I will forget it again if you insist on bringing that shit
Well,
up. I'm sorry, I told you that. I voiced
I
I
it.
have
know. I know.
I
Mm.
have forgotten his birthday so many times. So
Yeah, there you go. It's turtles all the way down, Ellie. It's
I
a
vicious
haven't.
vicious
circle.
cycle.
I've never
Yeah.
forgotten his birthday.
God damn it. Okay, I
Yeah, yeah, no.
appreciate that. But
You're welcome.
let's move on to the
Anyways, yeah.
subject of our episode. Yeah.
The subject today is the works of Jerry Seinfeld and one Lawrence David at the show creatively named Seinfeld. It
Is it
ran.
really Lawrence?
I don't know. I love that. I love the sound of that. What is it? I know Larry. I think Larry is like.
Okay, let me Google that right now. If it's Lawrence,
Uh,
I'm gonna make a lot of fun.
oh yeah, it's Lawrence Gene David.
Wow. Lawrence Gene David. Lawrence. That sounds like royalty. Reminds me
Yeah.
of the reminds me of the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket. That sounds like royalty. Are you royalty?
You've
Oh
seen.
god.
Okay, we'll get to him in a bit because he's a very important figure in the show. Like,
Hmm.
Jerry Seinfeld is the face of the show, but I think the brain of the show is Lawrence Gene David. And
I think that's a bit over generalization of what's going on. Like, I'm sure Jerry had a lot of input as well, and a lot of weight added to it.
well, the way I see it is after Seinfeld, what did they do? Jerry
Well,
Seinfeld made
mm.
a B movie.
And then he's been having coffee
Coffee
with
with comedians in cars. We'll get to that.
yeah.
By the way, the first thing I ever saw Larry David in, and I literally forgot it until I saw the poster of it while I was searching him, is a movie called Clear History. Have you seen it?
I haven't
Have
even
you,
heard about it.
have you seen it, Ghazal?
No, I haven't either.
Well, it's a very interesting movie. Check it out. I watched it because it has Michael Keaton in it, and Michael Keaton, for you uneducated swine out there, is the original. No, he's not the original Batman. Adam West is the original Batman. He's the Burton's Batman,
Which is the original Batman.
which is the original Batman. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, by
So-
the way, it just hit me. It's
yeah.
the first time we're having a female guest. We're
Oh
finally out
yeah,
of not out of it, but like we're 1 foot out of the extreme nerd zone. So
yeah.
that's kudos to us finally
Yes,
breaking the feminine,
which is
finally
great.
shattering the
That we're
glass
patting.
ceiling.
Yeah, we're
Does
patting
that even
ourselves
make
on the
sense?
back that we have
Yeah.
a female guest and we're talking over her and we don't let her talk.
And we're
Well,
mansplaining
actually,
everything to her.
Yeah.
I just stumbled upon something really. Uh, so Larry David, what did he have to do with Hannah Montana?
Oh, I think he
Did
was a
he have
guest
anything to do with it?
episode. He was a guest.
Larry
Thank
David
God.
was a guest in
I
a
think
Hannah
so.
Montana
Yeah,
episode.
I just Googled him, and then Hannah Montana came up
Yeah.
after Curb Your
Oh
Enthusiasm,
god!
Seinfeld, and then Hannah Montana. It's like,
Didn't it
Wow.
bring
okay.
up Whatever Works? The
Oh
Woody
yeah,
Allen
after whatever
movie?
works. Yeah,
That's the
after
Woody Allen
whatever
movie.
works.
Well,
I have that exact same list in front of me.
Yeah, I gathered.
okay.
Well, he was Larry David has been a guest in many things. I mean, to be honest, I cannot imagine Bernie Sanders anymore. Like, to me, it's just Larry David. Because
Oh,
he
you
played.
used to imagine him as Bernie Sanders?
No, he played Bernie Sanders for SNL.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think they were at least rumored to be at some point of their genetic tree to have been related to each other. If
I
I'm
mean,
not
that's just
mistaken.
a conspiracy that we all think all Jewish people are related to each other.
Wait, Bernie Sanders is a Jew?
Like you didn't know.
Well,
Like you
that makes
didn't
sense.
fucking know.
No, seriously, I didn't know. But that makes sense. Okay.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Dude,
how would I know that
did you
Bernie
know
Sanders?
Rudy Giuliani is Italian?
Well, yeah, that one is obvious. Giuliani. Then again, Sanders is also
Yeah.
kind of okay. Well, not very up to date with Well, I didn't even need to be up to date. I'm not very in the know with
Hmm.
Jewish last names. Let's say.
Wow. Wow.
Sandberg. Okay,
He's a
Berg. I think
racist.
most of Bergs are Jews, right? Like Steinberg,
Do you
That
want to
sounds
have
German.
this?
Goldberg.
Yeah, do you want
Well,
to
yeah, a
have that
lot of
conversation
Jewish
now?
people are.
Yeah.
How about
It's
all of the Steins, like Goldstein and Weinstein and
wow. I'm having
yeah,
like a revelations. I'm having like a
wow.
eureka moment. But
Anyways,
let's
speaking
start
of
talking
Jewish
about the
people,
conception of the show. Yeah,
yeah,
let's move on from the Jewish
Seinfeld.
people.
Before we get there, well, I mean, we can move on from Jewish people. Jerry Seinfeld is Jewish.
Yeah, Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld are both Jewish people.
Yes, but before we get there, I want to know what is each of your connections with the show.
What do you mean connection?
How did you get to know this show? Why did you watch it?
Ah, okay. Are you gonna go first, Ghazal?
Sure. Was it you? Did you tell me about it?
That does sound like me. I have told a lot of people to watch this show, as it is my favorite
No,
sitcom.
I remember that I don't know, it was after Friends, and I know that like people knew that I'm a fan of Friends, and then this
And
guy
that's
came up to me and said,
that's an
"What?"
understatement to say you're a fan of Friends. You're one of their biggest fans. How many times have you watched that show in its entirety?
Oh,
And not
I
as
stopped
background noise.
counting. Yeah, I
Mm.
stopped counting at 98, but well, that was
Oh
that was when
god.
I was like I don't know, like 17 or something. So I don't know, but
Great.
98 times. Mm.
I don't like it as much as I did before. Like I was like clinically obsessed with that.
Clinically
Uh,
obsessed. Okay, that's an interesting way to put it.
critically or clinically, I don't know. Like, but I was
Clinically. Oh yeah,
Clinically.
clinically. Critically
okay.
obsessed with something. I think you were like writing criticisms and reviews
Yeah.
of the show
Yeah.
non-stop.
Critically obsessed is me and Christopher Nolan. Like I'm
Oh,
critically
okay, yeah.
obsessed with him.
Yeah. Critically obsessed with Nolan. That's good.
So yeah, I was obsessed with it, but right now, no, like I'm okay with it. Like I watch it every now and then, but it's not like before. And I don't use it as
Hmm.
background noise anymore because I don't
Oh,
sleep to
okay.
sitcoms anymore.
Anymore. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
but
sleep
I
to
remember.
tragedies. God.
Yeah, more fun, believe it or not. So this guy
Mm.
came up to me and said, if you like Friends and sitcoms, you should watch Seinfeld. And I don't know who that was. I don't think it was you. It sounds like
Did,
you though.
did the guy
I don't
just
know.
come up in the street and was like, "Hey, you look like you like Friends.
You
You
look
should
like
watch
a
Seinfeld."
average Friends fan.
Yeah.
No. It was a friend, but I don't remember. I really don't
Okay.
remember. But anyway, that's
Maybe it was
how I met.
multiple people. Like maybe I did mention it at some point, and then someone else mentioned it. And you were like, "Okay, if multiple people are telling me to do this, then maybe there's something to it."
No, I remember that he said it and he was like, "You haven't watched Seinfeld and you claim to be a fan of sitcoms?" And I
Okay,
was young.
that's definitely me. That's definitely
Yeah.
me.
No, it's
That's
Yeah.
not
me.
you. Dude, why do
Mm.
you think I've put up with you for I don't know how many years have we been friends? Like 10, 12?
Because I haven't been
Uh,
exposed to some other toxic
no,
people. Oh.
because all my friends are like this. They would all like criticize me that way. So,
Ah, okay. So
Okay.
you
yeah,
have a
so I don't think it
tendency.
was you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it was you. But
I
anyway,
can't imagine more than one
thank
Emmy.
you, whoever that was. Hmm?
Wow. So you're not
No, I
gonna
said
thank me.
I can thank you for so many other things, but
Okay,
Wow.
what are those things? Let me see what are you thanking him for.
well, I think we're getting a little carried away again.
Yeah, no, I want to know.
Oh, God.
I need to know. Because I
What do
want
you
to make
need
fun
to
Well,
of
he's a
know?
Amy.
great friend.
Well,
No.
I
Oh
but
my
he
God.
doesn't like to be yeah, he doesn't like this subject, so
oh, okay. Well, Amy, what about you?
Uh,
Was it your friend, my ex-friend, that introduced?
um, I I remember like there was this time that I had heard about this show here and there, like in other shows or in other like on YouTube videos or other podcasts maybe. Like I know that I had Seinfeld sitting somewhere in the alleys of my brain. But then the moment that like I got convinced that I should watch it, believe it or not, I was looking through PlayStation store on my PS4, and
Fuck.
then there was like they had just recently added Seinfeld to, I guess, the like streaming service, or maybe it was like the banner for Netflix. I really don't remember how it was in PlayStation Store, but it was in PlayStation Store, and that was like the last.
Do we have a
Um,
Seinfeld game? Let me check it out.
no, thank God for that. Uh, so I think that like that was the moment that like that pushed me to finally start watching this show, and like uh, I started watching it and I really really enjoyed it, and I think it's the best sitcom that I've ever seen. So
Okay, there is this thing. I looked it up. Seinfeld horror game. Seinfeld Remastered is the name.
okay, and what
Uh,
type of a game is that?
I'm gonna send a link so you can look it up while I say how did I got introduced to Seinfeld. We, as many of you know, live in a country where we have access to every streaming service, and thus we do things very legally here. We don't pirate stuff. And there was
Yeah.
this very legal website called Tiny Movies.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Pirate Bay.
Oh no no! Oh dude,
Mm.
I'm not that good.
Because I did
Do-
download it from the Pirate Bay.
oh wow!
Yeah.
Admitting to guilt online.
Is that guilt though?
You wouldn't download a car, would you?
He sounds like an early 2000s lawyer um for Universal Pictures.
Oh, dude, don't you remember those like
Yeah,
pirating
that's why I
ads?
said it.
Yeah,
That's
you
exactly why I
wouldn't
said it.
download a car.
Well, actually, I would if it meant that the owner of the car wouldn't lose their car. If it just
Oh,
multiplied.
well, anyways, there was this website called Tiny Movies. At the time, my knowledge of sitcoms was mostly Friends, How I Met Your Mother. Uh, I don't know how many of you remember this Reba.
I don't think if I've ever even heard of it.
How about
Yeah,
you?
me neither.
Oh,
No, what did you say it was again?
Reba. It was Reba McEntire.
No idea.
Anyways, there was that. There was Dharma and Greg. I was watching all of these, and I looked up in the very legal website, Tiny Movies, Friends, and I was like shows like this. And the first one was Seinfeld, and I was like, okay, I'll watch this shit and see what this is about. And not gonna lie, for the first two seasons, I was like, is it really funny? And then I decided, yeah, it is. It isn't my top 10 comedies of all time. It's actually number 5.
Top 10 comedies, like including movies?
No. Top 10 comedy shows.
So it's number
What's the
5. Can I
first
know
one?
what are
The
the first 4?
Well, the first one we actually do have an episode on that you can go and listen to it. It's Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Oh yeah.
After that, it's Blackadder, which if you haven't, definitely go see it. It's Ron Atkinson, Mr. Bean for
Yeah,
you.
Mr. Bean for you normies out there.
Yeah. Or Zazu for you, like really cool people out there. The original Zazu.
I think
And
if someone watches Zazu, they know that it's Ron Atkinson. Like,
Zazu, you mean Lion King?
okay.
No. I mean, you said if someone is watching Zazu. Zazu is a show, dude. It's a character.
Okay. Lion
Uh,
King is called Zarzu?
no. Dude, Zazu is the bird.
Ah, that's Ron Atkinson? Okay.
Yeah. Zazu is
I
the
thought
bird in The Lion King. That's Ron Atkinson.
I didn't know. I thought Zarzu is one of those like obscure shows that only someone like you has watched.
No. That's Zardoz. Zardoz is one of those movies that only people like me have watched, which has Sean Connery in a bikini. And
Ah, okay, the meme thing. Like
yeah.
it's been memed to death.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad movie. John Boorman made it.
I just
Check it
remember
out.
the parody, the Futurama parody of it, the
Yeah.
professor wearing that
Yes.
that
Yes,
red
exactly.
menace thing.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Ron Atkinson, Blackadder, so definitely watch that. The third one is on very shaky ground because with each episode, I'm feeling like, do I even like this anymore? It's actively
Mhm.
ruining its own reputation, and it's Family Guy,
Mm.
which we already have an episode on. The last episode of season 1, we talk about Seth MacFarlane and we talk about Family Guy.
Man, it's an extremely extensive conversation
Yeah.
at that. I think it's like 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's our most listened to episode, so I don't think I need to tell you to go listen to it, but yeah, do listen to it. And the fourth one is Modern Family. I love Modern Family.
Yeah, I think you have shit taste, bro. Like your number 3 and your number 4 are definitely worse than Seinfeld. Like
Well,
objectively
Where are
worse
you?
than Seinfeld.
Where are
okay,
you
fuck.
looking this from? Because according to IMDb, the first one's Rick and Morty, second one's The Office, third one's Friends, and
He's
fourth
looking
one
at his
is
personal preference, I think.
That's for
yeah.
me. It's my
And
list.
Oh,
it's his list. It's not like a universal list. He's looking at his
okay.
brain to produce this list.
Yeah. Rick and Morty
Okay.
used to be
And
on the top 10. And then it got replaced with Frasier. Frasier really is really great.
Do you want to say something, Ghazal?
yeah, I forgot.
Did you repress this one as well?
Yeah. Perhaps I was gonna ask, what are the sitcoms that you've watched?
Um,
I have watched or Ali, because Ali is gonna like asking him about what he's watched. You're gonna end up listening to him for 20 hours, giving you a list.
Well, you go
Seriously?
first.
He's watched
Ali.
everything.
No, not everything.
No,
Do
you're
you
getting
also
there.
do you also like the new ones like Superstore and Kim's Convenience?
Like the
I think he's eventually gonna watch him.
Life in Pieces. The
like
the newer forms of sitcom.
like the new ones that I watched. Like I watched a lot of animated ones. I've watched a lot more animated ones of the new ones, like Duncan Wheel.
Uh-huh.
But like the new ones, I watched Man with a Plan. I really didn't like it. I watched Keenan, which I really didn't like it. I watched Single Parents. I didn't really like it. I
I
think
think
the
I'm seeing a
old
pattern here.
Yeah, so you don't like the new ones because they've really changed.
The
Perhaps that's
structure
why.
of
that's the problem though.
sitcoms.
Like the ones that have changed, like Modern Family or stuff like that, I actually do like. My problem is with the old formula in sitcoms, which again I think part of the blame falls on Seinfeld.
Why do you think that though? Because Seinfeld itself strays away from conventional sitcom tropes, let's say, in a lot of ways. Like one of the reasons it got to be so famous was that it
I
like
agree. I
defined its
agree.
own style.
But the problem is, its popularity led to a lot of like a new wave of shows that, well, we end up with shows like The Big Bang Theory or again, Man with a Plan, and stuff like that, which are more concerned about, how do I say it without coming off as an asshole? More concerned about jokes than about characters, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is something I'm gonna bring up Cheers in a while. As you mentioned, what sitcoms I watched, Cheers is one of them. I'm rewatching it now. I got in a bit of a slump. I stopped at season 7 because I got into a breakup, and I was like, okay, I can't watch Cheers
God.
now. Yeah. And, and I mean, because you know, it's not
mm.
the recent one, it's the last one,
Yeah. The
the
oh
bad one.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so, anyways, let's talk about Seinfeld itself. First of all, just quick question: who is your favorite character out of the main four? And
I
Hmm.
hate that question. It's like
why?
Wow.
it's like asking a parent like who's your favorite kid, or do you like your mom more or your dad? Like you can't have favorite characters. They all might be really, lovely to you on particular occasions, but you
I
can't
mean,
just pick one.
that might sound narcissistic, but I'm pretty sure I'm my parents' favorite kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
because
too.
you're an only child.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Oh. Okay, yeah,
Oh God.
that doesn't what?
No, I
That
know,
doesn't
but
take away.
Okay, that is weird. We're gonna move past that, but yeah, well, I don't think that question is like can be answered in a right way,
because
Mm.
you
At least
challenged
for
my
me.
question, who are the four characters of the show, Ghazal?
Four characters, Jerry,
Oh,
George, Elaine, and Kramer. Of course I know the characters. But
okay.
yeah, and
Did you
then the
look it up?
supporting.
Yeah.
No, I've
Who's the
watched the
fat
show four
postman guy?
times.
What's the name of the fat
Newman.
postman?
Newman.
Oh, okay, you
Actually,
do.
Newman.
Yeah.
I I I
Yeah.
I read somewhere that Newman was Jerry's favorite supporting actor.
Oh, Vane. Oh my God, what's the name of the actor? I know his first name is Vane. He was in.
Bruce Wayne? Haha.
No, I said his first name is Vane.
Oh, okay. I'm okay.
Yeah,
Having a dumb moment.
Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight.
Yeah, he was in Jurassic Park and a lot of other good movies like Basic Instinct. Have you seen Basic
He
Instinct?
no, but he has a strong character. I mean,
Yeah,
he
Newman.
can annoy you pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the skill all fat people share. Don't worry, we don't
I
bump
don't
anybody.
think that's because
Am
of
I
his
annoying?
physical. Are you
What?
Because I
fat?
have recently, yes. I mean,
Mm.
recently I think I've been added to
You
that.
think you've become fat, that doesn't count as
If
being
you
actually
think
fat.
you're fat, you're not fat. When you're fat, you know it.
I know it, but I'm
God.
in denial.
Oh, really? I
Well,
think you're a bit on the more, I don't know how to
Choose
put
your
it,
words
like
wisely.
no, you're about to enter very dangerous grounds. You're on the you're starting to be a bit more um Okay, I can't choose a word that is not even slightly
Deeply.
It's
upsetting.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
But
upset. Actually, it's it's growing on me.
you're becoming like a
Literally.
cushion a bit.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is wrong with you?
What? She's just like something that I would choose to
Sleep
rest my
on?
head on. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Not
I
in
should
Wow.
really stop
not in
working
a
out.
not in a
I will
not in a
let you know.
sexual way. I
I
mean,
will
like,
let you
For
know
that
he wasn't.
sole
there's a
reason,
comforting way.
honey, I don't think putting your head somewhere that feels like a cushion is sexual in any way. So,
Well,
I
believe me,
mean,
it
it
can be.
depends. Yeah. You
wow.
haven't you don't know me for long, Ghazal, but I can make anything sexual.
Okay, that's an interesting thing to come up, but
Yeah. But anyways, I just wanted to say that Ami wasn't like this, people of the internet, when he wasn't studying French.
what does that have to do with anything?
Wow.
Well, you study French, you become French-like, and we all
And
know.
French are assholes? Is that what you're
Yeah.
insinuating?
Yes.
I see. So you
All
think
French
just by the
people.
mere fact of starting to learn French, you automatically start
Oh,
like
dude.
gradually turning into an asshole?
No. You eat a croissant, you become an asshole. That's how they
Okay,
get you.
I've been eating croissants for a long time.
Well, now we know why you're an asshole.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Anyways, so Ghazal doesn't have a favorite character. That was the point. Ami, do you have a favorite character?
Of course, it's George. It's always George.
Mhm.
George is
Yeah.
amazing. Jason Alexander is just chef's kiss. He's killing it in this show. I mean, like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, if I didn't butcher her name, and what is the
Who's a-
Kramer Richards? Something Michael Richards, is it?
Michael Richards. Oh, dude, I think we need to bring it up.
Yeah, I think he's like a really good slapstick comedian. Like in the sense, like his physical comedy is amazing.
Yeah.
There are moments that are just
what
like,
I think saying when I said we need to bring it up.
okay, I think you were talking about his controversies.
He is, yeah, the big controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Google it. I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, it's just
Just
like,
Google
but
Michael
just know
Richards
that,
controversy.
yeah, just know that
Just know why.
Seinfeld had to force him to kind of apologize on
Yeah.
live TV.
And then you will also know why, at least I am not going to bring up Kramer as much.
I think I can find enough reason to distinguish between Kramer, as in like what has been created by the creators of the show as a character, as a fictional character, and Michael Richards as a person.
Okay, quick, because you said this is your favorite sitcom. What's his first name?
Oh, Cosmo. But it's gonna
Cosmo.
be a kind of a spoiler. Oh.
Is it a spoiler?
Yeah, because like I think it's revealed in like season 4 or something
Oh,
when
but it's not
they come in
spoiler.
contact with Kramer's mother.
Yeah.
Which is a comedy of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite character is also George. But I like the old guy that Elaine used to work for. You know who I mean?
Oh
The-
yeah, the
Yeah.
The
Mr.
accidental.
Peters.
Yeah, the accidental Nazi guy.
That
Didn't
episode
you-
was really good.
Didn't you like George's boss? The guy
Oh,
who liked
The
Steinberger.
Yankees?
Yankees. Do
Yeah.
you know
Was
who
never
voices
shown.
that guy? Do you know whose voice
Yeah.
is
I do know.
on that guy? It's
I
Larry
do know.
David.
It's Larry David.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Larry David's voice.
Yeah. And I, to be honest, no, I don't like him because the thing is, though, I think he's based on a very I think you should know the guy they're making fun of for that character to be funnier than it is.
But it's funny on its own as well, because like
No,
when I
I
started
know.
watching it and I really enjoyed like the comedy surrounding him. I didn't know that much, but like I did look into it. It did become a bit funnier, but it's not like I would have said it doesn't work if it wasn't funny at all, if you didn't know the
Oh,
guy. But
I
it's
I do
funny.
agree. I do agree. It is funny, but I think for me the old guy is funnier because it's like I don't need to know anything more for him to become as funny as he can be.
I think his
Um,
iconic thing, which he did mention in an interview, was that like everywhere he goes, people ask him to eat his Snickers with a with a knife and fork. Oh god,
Poor guy.
yeah. Like he
Who do you
said, when
think
he
is
goes to restaurants, people put a Snickers on a
Yes.
plate in front of him, and they're like, "Okay, do away with it, sir." Is he still
Yeah.
alive?
The old guy? I don't think so. I think he was Alfred in a show,
Uh,
and
yeah, if he's not alive, may his soul rest in peace.
yeah,
He was a good actor.
yeah, and okay. So those are the characters I like. The uh, let's ask the obvious question: what is the show about? What is the show about?
uh, well, infamously, as has been like made a joke inside the
Show
show
itself.
itself, it's a show about nothing. But well, to be
I
precise,
disagree.
okay. mhm.
I disagree
Well,
with
yeah,
that.
obviously it's not a show about nothing. It's a show
Something.
about very trivial yet extraordinary everyday incidents that every time blow out of proportions. And what makes me love this show more than any other sitcom is that all the characters during the span of 20 minutes that like each episode takes, they somehow get involved with the same thing through different means, through different angles, and like at some point they all interconnect. And I think that's one of the like the genius of the show is that like a very small thing that happens to one of the characters is gonna have it's like a domino or butterfly effect that happens in this show. And like one of my favorite instances of this happening is in the marine biologist episode
Oh
where
yeah,
Kramer goes practicing golf like on the
yeah.
beach, and then one of his
Golf
what are they
balls.
called, golf
Golf ball.
balls,
Yeah.
yeah, gets stuck in a whale's like uh I don't know what the fuck are those called, the holes that they blow
Blowhole.
water out of. Are they blowholes? That
They
sounds
are
sexual.
blowholes.
Okay,
Dude,
that's
everything sounds sexual to you.
what? This is outrageously sexual.
Yeah.
Blowhole. Like a glory hole.
Well, see?
Or a manhole. Oh god. Anything with hole in it is sexual. Whether you wanna accept it or not.
Asshole.
Okay, that's not it. Anyways,
What
let's
hole?
move on.
Asshole?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's talk about his asshole sexual.
Okay, so what do you think the show is about, Ghazal?
Um, it's about, well, if you look at it from, again, I mean, stuff that happens every day, and some of them are just like really dark, like bad stuff happening to people and them just laughing it off. But it's not about nothing. Actually, it was never. I know this one because I read something somewhere that they intended to make the show about how the comedian gets his material from, and that is actually what happens in the show. Like Jerry's constantly looking, um, to write things down for his shows, but it does
Hey, it does
become,
have a meta moment.
yeah,
At the
it does
beginning of every
become,
show. Until
yeah.
that one season when Larry David wasn't on, when they didn't do the opening stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first 3 seasons have the opening, or maybe 4 seasons.
I think it's a
But
4.
and one other thing that like Ghazal actually made me remember is the fact that the show is extremely meta in the sense that like I don't know if it constitutes as postmodern in cinema and like TV industry, but like the fact that the show self-references itself and also its creation process, I think is a very um, like recent thing, relatively speaking, in that like there's an entire arc that is about how the show was made and it's called Jerry. Like in the show, in the Jerry Seinfeld show in real life, which is called Seinfeld, he
Yeah,
makes an arc about making a show about himself called Jerry. Like the layers of
Yeah.
that's season 4.
self-reference sometimes are like, oof. And I think
That's
this meta thing is a Larry David thing because he keeps doing it in Curb Your Enthusiasm as well. So I don't think if
oh
it's
yeah, I'm with
like
you on that.
it's a very self-conscious, neurotic, mental breakdown process of Larry David being embodied in the form of a show, but in a good way.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm with you on that. The show does have a very meta aspect to it, and by the way, Ghazal, you are right that they wanted to make a show about how a comedian gets his material, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was very obvious from like the opening and all of that. So they telling the show is about nothing is kind of like an afterthought to me. It was never about nothing.
I think maybe that's like supposed to be a
It's
joke.
nothing. I
Mm.
mean, life is nothing. Yeah, because like you know, this is nothing. What we're living for, like why we're doing everything that we do in our lives is for nothing. It's all for nothing. So we kind of laugh at it, we laugh at the stuff that hurts us. Like we get fired, we get sick, we grow up in like toxic family situations and deal with crazy parents and what can we do? I mean, George is there getting super angry and it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, but you have to be specific. George is always super angry.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
I
Yeah,
think
He's
yeah,
always angry and
mm.
he's your favorite character, so
yeah.
in a
Yeah,
sitcom.
It tells a
well,
lot about us than it does about the
Yeah,
show.
it tells about humanity because I think George is like
everyone.
if we did a poll, I think most people would choose George. And the fact that like
Yeah,
I think
there are other reasons though, because I think Jason Alexander is the best actor in that ensemble, for that show
yeah,
at least.
yeah. And as
Because
he puts it
Julia
himself,
Louis-Dreyfus,
mm, yeah, go
no,
on.
I was gonna say she was like I like him much more in Veep than I do in Seinfeld. And as for Michael Richards, I'm not gonna mention him. And Jerry is a terrible actor. He's
Oh yeah,
always
he's
I
like
smiling.
know, I know. Is that on purpose
he's
or just
so
No,
bad.
no,
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 it's not
no,
on
no.
purpose. It's just
It's not
how
on
he
purpose.
is.
wow?
Like
Because
one
like
of the reasons they chose really good actors, like the three good actors, was to kind of um distract
Balance him
away
out.
from his lack of skill.
Yeah.
but I remember like once I think it's Elaine who tells him like why don't you get angry and why are you smiling when you're angry? Which is like so
Yeah,
funny.
No, no,
yeah,
they make fun of the fact that he is a very bad actor. That season 4 arc about making the show within the show.
yeah.
They do say, like, the TXX says that, oh, the stand up comedians is a very bad actor. And they're not
Yeah.
wrong. Like, I don't.
But then
Oh, no, wait,
surprisingly, Larry
wait,
David proves
Robin
to be an
Williams.
amazing actor in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
The thing
Yeah.
is, though, and I'm sorry for saying it like this, here's Larry David acting in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Still, it takes skill. Like, if someone started filming me and was expecting me to be myself, I wouldn't be able to
Oh,
pull
I
it off.
agree. I agree to that part. I think like when I see Curb Your Enthusiasm, I just see Larry David, and when I see like Whatever Works, the Woody Allen movie, again, it's just Larry David. The Clear History movie is just Larry David. Even when he's Bernie Sanders, he's Larry David.
It's Larry David. Yeah, in that regard, I agree. He's a one-trick pony, but goddamn, if that one trick is not good.
Yeah. And another thing funny about this show, you mentioned that it broke away from a lot of traditions. That
Yeah, I
earlier
was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
Well, this show sort of dominated the 90s. Like it came out in 1989 and was on until like 1998, I think. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
1998. Yeah,
And
it's 98.
oh, nice. And like let's talk about the shows that came before and after it. Like before it, you have Cheers, which I love. And after it, you and to the midpoint of it, you have Friends, which again I love. And well, when you want to see what Seinfeld changed, you have to understand the fact that I think there is a misconception. People credit Seinfeld with having asshole characters as like the main characters. I don't think it's something that Seinfeld did. There are a lot of shows where you had characters that you were supposed to just not like. They were assholes. You had again Cheers. You had a bunch of characters in Cheers. You had what was the fat guy? Dude, can
What do you
you?
mean the fat guy?
The guy that Peter is based on, that Seth MacFarlane loves. I know his name. I don't know. Archie Bunker is the name.
Archie, yeah, the All in the Family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All
All
in
in
the
the
Family.
Family.
Archie is an asshole, and
I think also Eric Cartman is based on him.
yeah. Every fat guy is based on one fat
No,
guy.
not just being fat, like the fact that he's an outright racist, misogynist
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah. And like Al Bundy, which I don't know if either of you know.
I do know him, but like just know him. You know what I mean? Like I don't know anything more
Seriously?
than yeah.
What do you know about him?
As I said, I don't know anything about him. I just like know him as a person. I know of his existence.
Oh. Okay, he was a character on Married with Children, which was another one of those influential shows in the 90s. But the thing that I think Seinfeld did, and it's something that you can see clearly with Cheers. Okay, why do I keep bringing up Cheers?
Because you like it.
I do like it, but Cheers is the literal lead into Seinfeld. Like, when Seinfeld came, literally the time slot after Cheers was Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And Cheers was dangerously popular. Like, it was so big. It's still kind of it. I don't think you can find...
Ted Danson is in Cheers, right?
Yeah, Ted Danson started in
Which
Cheers.
like lends to a lot of jokes to
Yeah, exactly. It's
George asking for Ted Danson pension.
Yeah, he says Ted Danson gets $5 million, and the TV executive says, "Well, you're not Ted Danson."
Yeah, Susan's like, "You're not Ted Danson."
Oh,
and
God,
then Ted
Susan.
Danson, for those of you who don't know, actually becomes a recurring character in Curb Your Enthusiasm. So
yeah, Ted Danson. But first of all, Ghazal, I don't know if you know Ted Danson or not.
No, I don't.
Do Google him. The man is like incredibly handsome.
How do you spell his last name? Oh, okay.
Danson.
Yeah, not really my type.
You're like tall, handsome guys.
No, she likes short, ugly guys.
Then why
No,
did
not
like George?
ugly. He looks so
I'm
American.
joking. He looks so American. He does look a bit like Johnny Knoxville now that I've been watching a lot of Jackass.
Fuck you. I mean, Knoxville isn't bad looking, to be honest. He's not the worst looking guy out there.
No, Johnny Knoxville isn't bad looking. He's just bad. Like, he has a fucked up brain.
Oh, yeah. It could
His
have been a
interior is ugly. His exterior is
Yeah.
decent.
And he's gotten older, which makes him actually, okay, this is gonna sound wrong. Johnny Knoxville, as he got older, he got hotter, I think.
Oh God. So you like
Yeah.
old men, older
Yeah.
men at least. Hmm.
Well, as I was saying, like Cheers was about the characters and their relationship. Like the relationship were important to the characters. Like Cheers started the whole "will they, won't they" trend,
Hmm.
which I know everyone love. And like by the end of season 1, when Sam and Diane kiss, you're like, "Oh fuck yeah, they finally did it."
Hmm.
Seinfeld didn't do that. Seinfeld didn't care about the relationship between these characters. It was more about the
Exactly.
jokes. Yeah, and the thing about Cheers is that when you watch a season of Cheers, you feel like, oh, I watched a season, you know? Stuff
Mhm.
Yeah.
happened, and there were consequences to some of this stuff. Seinfeld is incredibly freeform. I feel like the first 5 seasons could be just like a season because nothing of substance happens. In a
Well,
sense of,
yeah, but like I think that's consciously the point of it. Like
yeah, I'm with
other
you.
sitcoms, like traditionally sitcoms have been all like kind of trendsetters for the society and like guiding manuals in how to like sitcoms have been used to spread propaganda. I mean, in throughout their history
Oh, yeah.
before like 80s and 90s, like
Then you have
literally
the
they were at
Brady
some point
Bunch.
trying to show how good the American life is versus the communist life. And like that's one of the reasons we always have like one of the staple parts of every older sitcom, which has like remained in sitcoms even to this day, is them having food or going to supermarkets. And like
Yeah.
that wasn't incidental at the beginning. It was like it was a point that had to be made, that like the
Oh, yeah.
American
Yeah.
nuclear family, which has like the perfect ratio, is like having 2 children. And then like they were trying to educate the public and to like move the public opinion towards things and like kind of
Which,
subconsciously uh,
you know
tell
what's
them
funny
how to
though?
live.
You know what's funny?
Mm.
One of the earliest sitcoms, the one that I think set the stage for a lot of sitcoms, is one called The Honeymooners.
I've heard about this one, but then again, I have only heard about it.
It's I remember. It's again a fat guy. What was the name of the character? I know it's Jackie Gleason, the guy who plays him.
Ralph Cramden?
Ralph Cramden, yeah. And like he has the, well, catchphrase, "One of these days, Alice, pow, right in the kisser, to the moon, like I'm gonna hit you." That's the joke, by the way.
Mm.
He tells to his wife that one of these days I'm gonna inflict violence upon you.
Oh God, that is funny. You see.
Yeah, that is funny. Domestic violence, always funny.
Oh God, that is so
Yeah, but
fucked.
in Seinfeld, we see George's dad seeking serenity.
Serenity now.
Serenity now.
Serenity. That's a really good
Yeah.
episode.
By the
But
way,
okay,
rest
let
in
me.
peace, Jerry Stiller.
Hmm.
You were
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
He was.
yeah.
By the way,
And
do you know he
Stella
was?
as well. The wife recently passed
Yeah,
away.
yeah. And do you know Jerry Stiller is Ben Stiller's dad?
What? Really?
Yeah.
God. Okay, that's an
Like
interesting tidbit.
George's dad is Ben Stiller's dad.
Yeah. Wait,
And both of them
who
are
is
kind of
whose dad?
neurotic.
What?
Jerry Stiller
Who's
is Ben Stiller's dad.
Jerry Stiller? Who's Ben Stiller's?
Ben Stiller, look him up. You definitely know him.
Yeah. He was in
But
Night at the Museum. Like
yeah.
his most famous work is.
Oh my god. Oh, do you know
Yeah.
who this is? This is the crazy guy Rachel dated.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He was in Friends as well.
Wow. Also, like
Yeah.
George
The
himself
guy
was in
yelled.
Friends.
Really?
Yeah, George was the guy who worked at a was it the yeah, when Phoebe took a job at a toner place, a toner company, something, and she had to take calls and ask people if they needed toner, then she called George. I don't know what his name was, but
Oh, the
yeah, he said he
suicidal
doesn't.
guy.
Yeah, he said he doesn't need it because he's going to kill
Oh
himself. He
shit!
wasn't
Oh yeah,
angry
Yeah.
there.
and
Yes,
that
I
I think that's a
remember
joke
that.
about the episode that George called someone when his father is trying to like sell computers, and he's like, "Oh, Mister Whatever, do you want a computer? Why
Oh
not?"
yeah,
Oh god.
yeah.
God, I
Also, the
loved.
Frogger episode. I love George in the Frogger episode. Me
Do
as
you
a
know?
video game
Yeah.
enthusiast, I love that episode.
Do you know who is in that episode? That is one of the episodes I actually seeked out. Like when I was watching the show, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna reach that episode." Do you remember the guy who was like the electrician?
Mm-hmm.
He was Peter Stormer. Uh,
Okay,
for those
that
of you who
name
don't,
does ring a bell.
oh, he's a Swedish actor. He was the devil in the movie Constantine.
Okay.
No, he has
uh,
a bunch of stuff. Like he has this show, which I again highly recommend, called Swedish Dicks. Dude, did you watched my American Gods video, right?
yeah, yeah.
He was Chernobog, the guy with the hammer. That I said he can
Really?
walk, yeah, and I say he's a good actor.
Okay. And now it's all connecting.
Yeah, everything is connected.
But before
Now,
we go on, there's just short point that I want to make is
okay.
that you said that like Seinfeld didn't invent the asshole, and I agree. It's
Mm,
just that Seinfeld broke away from the tradition of a show that at the end of the day ultimately resolves in like the generic cliched happy ending, in the sense that like
Yeah.
ultimately all the friends kind of get back together, they forgive each other,
yeah,
they find love, and there's peace and there's shit like that. Seinfeld isn't that, and it's not trying to
oh yeah.
preach anything. Like it's it's a show about nothing, in the sense that like it serves no purpose other than to make you laugh. It just wants to make you laugh, and I'll be damned if it doesn't.
Oh
And
yeah, I
it's
agree.
also kind of like, let's say, the opposite of a good sitcom, in the sense that like sitcoms used to instill good values to people. This thing instills bad value. Like they steal, they laugh at people, they do horrible things to crippled people,
Yeah.
to
Look at the
handicapped
TikTok.
people.
show's finale. Like, I know a lot of people don't like the finale. I don't know why. Like, what did you expect from the finale of the show to be? Uh,
I expected Elaine and Jerry to kiss. I mean, when they're on that plane, it's like something's gonna happen. And I think she says that there's been something that I've been wanting to tell you, but she doesn't. I don't remember, but there should be something there, and there isn't. And that's like one of the reasons that I both love and hate about it. You know
that's
what I
that's
mean? Like,
actually part of the joke because again, the leading to Seinfeld is Cheers, and Cheers like ended everything with like a grand kiss. Like each end of the season, Sam gets the girl or doesn't get the girl, and this was like, yeah, nothing is gonna happen.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna give
know, like
you
in How I Met Your Mother, I mean, it
viewer blue balls.
starts.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of shows after Seinfeld, they used a lot of Cheers too. I think we should do an episode on Cheers. I know Amy wouldn't watch it. It's 11 seasons, and
Yeah, and I don't like old rom-com sitcoms.
it's not a rom com.
It's
It's actually
rom-com-ish.
no, it's actually incredibly funny. You're gonna love it, but I know you wouldn't watch it. I do recommend it,
I'm
and I
gonna
do
give it
recommend
a chance.
it.
I'm gonna watch one season of it, see where it takes me.
Yeah, do watch it. It's actually great.
But
When you
we've
watch
hit the 1 hour mark, so let's
oh,
try and wrap it up as soon as possible.
okay. Like, the thing is that the finale, at the end of the finale, they end up in jail. Spoilers alert. But people,
Yeah.
but they end up in jail, and I'm like, yeah, what else did you expect them? These are very bad people.
He's a petty, small, trivial,
Yeah,
immoral,
exactly. Which,
narcissistic
uh,
assholes.
yeah, exactly. Which I think lends itself greatly to another show which I want to talk about, which is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because those are again asshole people. And you said Seinfeld doesn't instill good values. I think it does by a sense of we have this proverb in
Oh,
Persian.
the repercussions of what happens when you're an asshole, like the
No, no, no.
consequences of being an asshole.
There is this proverb we have in Persian, which is called they asked Luqman, where did you learn manners? He said, by watching rude people, which is that
Mhm.
what they did, I didn't do. And it's like you're supposed to laugh at them, and they're like, "Oh, these are assholes. I shouldn't do what they're doing,"
Yeah.
because they never have anything go their way.
Yeah.
Like the reason George is always. Remember the summer of George? This was supposed to be the summer of George.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God,
Nothing works out.
nothing
Everything
works out.
ultimately breaks down.
Yeah.
Um.
When it comes to It's Always Sunny, they are so idiot. They are such idiots that they don't understand that nothing is going their way. And that's part of the joke. Again, if you haven't also watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you will not regret it.
Yeah, I really have to watch that. Like,
Yeah.
it's been on my list for a long time.
Yeah. And in Seinfeld, they are actually smart enough to realize, oh, things are not going our way. But because it's a sitcom and because it's a syndicated sitcom, nothing can change. They cannot learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
characters don't grow. They literally
No.
stay
That's
the same.
exactly. That's the
Yeah.
thing about sitcoms, though. Like that's again, you can call it a situation of the sitcoms because sitcoms are syndicated, and syndication doesn't run them in order.
Yeah,
Like,
so you can't have character development in the sense that
yeah,
if that happens, then viewers are going to be confused.
exactly.
It does happen though in other sitcoms, like in How I Met Your Mother. You see that Barney like grows as a
But they're like
character.
more
Chandler
recent.
in
Yeah,
Friends.
yeah, they're more recent. We're talking like 80s and 90s, like
Okay,
Golden Girl,
Friends. Like,
Cheers. Friends doesn't. They don't grow.
they do grow. They do grow.
Do
Like
they
they
though?
stop doing
Like,
stupid
No,
shit. Yeah, I mean, I think Chandler grows. They overcome their fears. They become aware of their problems. Like,
but the thing is, though, do, are those problems ever outside of that one particular episode? You know what I mean?
yeah, they
no.
remain in an island, like they're sandboxed in the sense that.
When Chandler, for example, I remember this very vividly because of a personal memory that Chandler and Monica have a fight, and Chandler says, "Well, it was a great time knowing you," and goes
Mm-hmm.
because he thinks like, "Yeah, we're broken up now."
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I, I've done the same thing a couple of times.
Amazing.
Yeah. And Monica tells him that, oh, you need to have more confidence. But the thing is, the lack of confidence, the problem, and the resolution all happen in the same episode. Like it's not brought up in the episode
Doesn't
before.
span out.
Yeah.
Like, it's not spread
There are
throughout
recurring
the remaining
jokes.
season.
Again, in Seinfeld, there are a number of recurring jokes. There is the guy that Jerry hates, not Newman, the other comedian.
Oh yeah, yeah, I get what you mean. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
But also one other thing I really like about Seinfeld are the episodes that are like set, like for instance, in a shopping mall parking.
Oh,
Like
bottling.
Oh,
they forget where they've parked their car. Or like the Chinese restaurant, they have to wait. Like these episodes that are like
Yeah.
extremely, like they hit so close to home. They're like relative to all of us, but then they make it like, I think the aspect that makes Seinfeld so good is that it's extremely surreal in the most real manner possible. In the sense that like all the things that happen to them, or all the things that they do, are things that happen to all of us, or we think about doing them at some point. It's just that we as civilized people refrain from doing them. But like this show is like a porn of like watching some very indulgent, non let's say neurotic people do the things that you shouldn't do in public. Like they're in the sense like a fantasy of you being set before your eyes. Like what would happen if I peed in a parking lot? I'm sure everyone has had that thought at least once in their lives. Or like what
Oh,
would happen if I
fish.
did this in a party? Like what would happen if I was an asshole
Yeah.
to a cashier, like just because I didn't like them? Like they're hysterical, not hysterical in this funny sense, like hysterical in a neurotic sense, but that makes them also funny. And like I think by, as you said, by seeing the ramifications of what happens when you do crazy stuff like that, you learn that like there's a reason we constrain ourselves and not do these things in public, because
Yeah.
they're gonna hit us back. There's gonna be a social karma if we're assholes, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. The thing is that I was gonna say it is very hashtag relatable.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
that's the thing about Jerry Seinfeld's comedy. It's always been relied on that relatability,
mhm.
which is why I haven't found him funny since 2000.
Because he's not relatable. Because he's become rich and he can't find relatable things
Yeah,
anymore.
like for him, relatability is going to get coffee with other comedians and talking about, yeah, how comedians are like this special breed of people. And I'm like, well, fuck you.
Well, I mean, in Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry is like living in Beverly Hills. He's living a really luxurious, posh life, very expensive life, but he manages to make it relatable. Like he's not. First of all, I like the fact that he's not apologetic about his way of living. Like he's not trying to hide it. He's accepted the fact that he's become rich. He's not hiding it. He's not trying to hide it. He's like, I'm rich. This is the life I'm having, and he makes like he makes literally in one of the seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm, he's making comedy about renting a private jet. Like, how many people in the world have had the opportunity or like the luxury of having a private jet?
I agree.
I don't
But the
think
thing
that
is that
many. But he
I
makes
don't
it
think,
funny. He manages to make it funny.
yeah, but I don't think it's because we find Larry David relatable. We find him neurotic, and that's why we laugh, because
No,
he
but
is neurotic. I don't
that
think
is true. But
we
I
relate
think
to
he
neuroticism,
no, but
not to his way of life.
yeah, but I think he makes it like he presents it in a way that we're like, if I was rich enough to have a private plane and this happened to me, I would relate with it. You know what I mean? Like he
Oh,
presents it to us.
I
He
know.
sets
Again,
the setting in a good way.
I know. I think at least for me, I relate to his neuroticism. I'm like, oh, I am extremely neurotic like him. So for him, it's buying a private jet. For me, it's buying a book. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Seinfeld isn't like that. Seinfeld's comedy is like, oh, have you noticed the little things on the socks, the little hooks on the
Yeah.
socks? I was like,
Yeah.
have you tried buying a coffee and then this happens? And I'm like, well, you haven't bought a coffee for yourself for like 22 years.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Louis episode, like Louis TV show, where
yeah.
he's supposed to like open for Seinfeld in a one of those rich people's clubs, and then he finds himself not in the right place and company because the jokes he's making are for ordinary people, and he's like, have you noticed when you go shopping? And then he's like, well, I think you people have slaves do it for you. God, he's even inappropriately dressed for the occasion.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Jerry turned out like a huge amount of money for a 10th season.
Oh,
He-
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. The thing is that I think he ended it at a very good point.
Yeah, the height of
Weirdly
it.
enough, I don't know if this is true or not. I think Hugh Jackman said it that when Hugh Jackman starred in Logan, which was his last X-Men movie, he said Jerry Seinfeld told me always go out on top.
Well, that's a good advice. It's good advice.
Again, Seinfeld was incredibly profitable for NBC. NBC used to be like at the top at that point. They had
Yeah.
Cheers and they had Seinfeld, and like Fox starting had Married with Children, which again, great show. We should
We
do.
do need to mention the fact that the last 2 seasons are without Larry David, by the way. Season 8
Yeah,
and 9. He
that's when
parts from the show.
you can sense it.
Yeah, the comedy becomes different. And it's not just because of the absence of Larry David, it's also because of the fact that like they are giving the film crew are given exorbitant amounts of money to do whatever they like. So the comedy becomes a bit like
Over the
colossal
top.
in the sense that like over the top, like it becomes a playing field for the writers. Like they're like, we can do anything we want.
Yeah, and like you compare that to one of the most famous episodes of Seinfeld. You know which one I'm talking about, probably.
Mm-hmm.
The contest.
Oh yeah. The
And
contest.
contest, and it's
Which one
such a
was that?
it's a
The one that
masturbation.
they're like they wager on the fact that like who's gonna like hold out the longest and not jerk off.
Yeah, and the girl
Why
also
don't I
enters.
remember this?
This is like probably the most famous Seinfeld episode.
I know what it sounds like something I would remember.
Oh,
Well, we established
should
you don't have a good memory.
you have repressed this episode
Yeah, why though?
because it's
Okay.
sexual.
You have problems. This is an intervention, Ghazal. It's not a podcast. We're not actually doing this. Amir has brought
Oh, yeah.
complete
I remember Elaine.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and the like king of the castle, queen of the whatever. What was like the names they were giving themselves?
I don't remember.
Okay, no, I don't remember that much. I just remember her,
Or
struggling.
Kramer looking at a naked woman across the street.
First.
Mm,
No, okay, I'm going to
I'm out.
watch this tonight.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay, seriously, we need to wrap it up. It's like an hour and 15 minutes, so you don't want to overstretch this episode.
Just because it's not political doesn't mean it can't be nearly 2 hours. This is a joke. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go and listen to our first episode. It's nearly 2 hours and it's very political.
It's extremely political.
That one was our most political episode. This is our most sexual episode, I think.
Nah, it isn't. I think this amount of sexuality has been present in all of our, almost
Then
all
we
of
should
our episodes.
definitely have an episode about relationships.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. We're gonna have an episode on relationships.
We're going to talk about the movie Married. We're going to talk about the show Married with Children. I'm going to force Amy to watch 11 seasons of a Fox sitcom.
Yeah, aka torture me.
I like torturing people. I'm a very sick person. Anyways,
Yeah.
Leave it for that episode.
Mhm.
so the thing is that Seinfeld, again, I think of it as a great show. It definitely changed the landscape. It dominated the 90s. It brought everyone that were in it to stardom. And let's do a quick where are they now, right? Like,
Yeah.
Larry David obviously did Curb Your Enthusiasm, which it's a great show. I highly recommend it. I know Amy recommends it because he loves it.
Yeah, I love Larry David. Like, I
Yeah,
truly idolize the guy. And
we actually
like,
have mentioned him before on this show when in the I think it was the Saints Row episode or our first episode of season 2, where you said that we are like I'm Seinfeld and you're Larry David, and your biggest thing is
yeah.
you want this show cancelled.
Yeah, yeah. Like, for real though, like, I'm as neurotic as Larry David in the first seasons of Seinfeld when he was trying to like get away from the show and get every given opportunity. And I hope this doesn't mean that the season 8 and 9 of YASP are gonna be without me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here alone. No guests, no Amy. It's just
Okay,
me
that's gonna
talking
be
for an hour.
the last thoughts of a busy mind 2.0.
Yeah. But this one is about video games and TV shows specifically.
Oh, okay.
For those of you who don't know what is the last thoughts of a busy mind, good.
It's Ali's personal podcast where
Yeah.
he goes on soliloquy
Yeah.
and
I talk about life. I do
yeah.
talk about relationships in that one if you're interested.
No. He talks about his relationships, not
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
maybe I should start a podcast.
you can.
Oh my god,
It's
there we
incredible.
go again. Yeah, and you know what? It's like far cheaper than therapy. Like, you don't pay anything. You just
I
record yourself
know.
and publish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk after the show, Ghazal.
Sure.
But the thing is that, like Larry David made Curb Your Enthusiasm, which again, great. Michael Richards did stuff, and and Julia Louis-Dreyfus did Weep, which again, amazing show. I do recommend it. I don't know if any of you have seen it.
I know I haven't. You did mention it, I think, in this episode again, but I haven't. By the way, all of the casting like all the members of this show have been present on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and actually,
Oh yeah.
the proverbial or like the, let's say, the reunion that happens after every successful sitcom kind of happens in Seinfeld. Like, in Curb Your Enthusiasm, like there's this whole arc in one of the seasons that Larry David is trying to, by doing a reunion, get like closer to his separated wife. And you kind of get, if you want to know what the reunion episode of Seinfeld looks like, you actually have to watch that season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Do you remember which season was that?
Not really. I just know that, like, I think it's 2009 or something, so it should be like season 6 maybe.
Curb Your Enthusiasm is a very slow show.
Yeah, at the beginning it was like every year they had a season, but then it started spanning out and out and out. Like, now, like, there was this point that between 2 seasons, I think it was like a 6-year hiatus or something like that. So
I think so.
it's been going on for like 23 years, but it's only had 10 seasons or 11 seasons.
Also, rest in peace, Bob Einstein.
Yeah,
he was the tall guy with a very rough voice.
I haven't watched Einstein, so I wouldn't know.
No, dude, he was in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was the actor.
Oh, yeah, I think he was a daredevil kind of guy before, like, yeah, and
he had a daredevil
oh my
character.
god, yeah, the the amount of Botox that he had used on his face, oh my god, he had turned into an anomaly. Poor guy. But I loved his comedy and like the relationship he had with Larry and the other people in
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was really funny.
Yeah. God, everyone is dying.
Mm.
Like, let's put Gottfried of all people.
Mm.
You know
Well,
Gilbert
c'est
Gottfried?
la vie, mon ami. This is my French taking over. Soon I'll be speaking only in French.
Well, I'm gonna speak in.
Sûrement en français is gonna happen soon.
Well, I mean, when you speak French, there's only one answer I can give you. You can't suck my dick.
Oh god.
Yes. I don't know if you've reached that level of Frenchness yet, but
Mm. I reached the hamburger level of French.
hamburger.
Speaking of, can we wrap this episode up? I'm gonna order
Oh, yeah.
something. I'm extremely hungry.
Yeah, and I need to use the facilities.
Yeah.
Ah,
Facilities. Okay. It's a polite way to put it.
well, he needs to put something in his body. She needs to pull something out of her body.
I don't
So
think she needs to pull something
Well,
out of her body.
I needed the P
Yeah,
word.
and I don't think he's going to put something in his body.
is
I
so.
don't think she's having an abortion, an illegal one at that.
Well, if you're in United States, it's gonna be illegal pretty soon. That was our political take
Roe
of the
versus
episode.
Jade, yeah.
Roe versus Wade.
Wow.
Wayne
Well-
or Wade?
Wade, I think.
Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, with that said, I mean, do watch Seinfeld. It is still a good show. I think it does hold up.
No, it's
There
not
are-
still a good show. It's the best sitcom ever. Definitely watch it and
yeah,
don't
definitely.
mind this pedantic, finicky nerd. Just watch
There-
it. You're
there-
gonna love it.
Because I was gonna say there are like dated elements in it, not in a sense of like jokes and stuff. There are dated jokes, but like dated technology, like jokes about
Yeah.
specific stuff that you probably don't get, like the jokes about faxes.
Like the fact
and-
that mobile phones aren't a thing yet, and like a lot of the
Yeah.
comedy revolves around people not being able to hang out because they can't reach each other. And there was a
Yeah.
time in ancient times that we didn't have cell phones. So if you like wanted to hang out with people and you were like, let's meet at 8, if you didn't show up at 8, like that was it. That was ruined. You wouldn't be able to call them and be like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be late for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we never lived in that time, right? When
Well,
Wow.
kind like in my
I didn't hang
really
out with
early
people.
childhood.
How old
Yeah,
are
but
you?
we didn't hang out with people.
Yeah,
Who,
because
me?
we're like
I'm-
4
Yeah.
or 5.
Yeah. How old are you?
No,
Ghazal?
no. I'm 25. I
Oh,
remember that like
the
I
same
got a
age
cell
as
phone
me.
at the age of 12.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
These rich
but I
people.
remember. No, I remember when I was like 6 or 7, mobile phones hadn't become like popular yet, so like people still had to.
Yeah. When I was 6, I remember that
Though,
my
to be
dad had a
honest,
cell phone.
Ami does live in like a backward city, so he's not in the
God.
capital of
But
the
people-
country.
But people didn't use it like they use it right now. I mean, I think
Yeah,
it was
mm.
like
Oh, I
super
know, I know.
expensive and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only
yeah,
like
I know.
CEOs and like government people
only for
had it.
and they use it for emergencies. Like they didn't use it to just call each other and ask what's up.
Because guess what?
My
The
dad
battery
had
on those
one,
phones
though.
was also hell. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they would last you 2 hours maybe, and they were like the size
My-
of walkie-talkies, and not normal walkie-talkies, giant walkie-talkies.
I do remember.
Yeah, and I remember my dad had this like big camera which you had to like attach to the phone.
Yeah.
We've
My
been
dad-
talking over,
I don't
walking
remember
over.
how old
Ellie.
I was, but my dad had a phone, and it wasn't touch screen. It had a pen.
Oh yeah. Or you could also use your nail.
No. It like it didn't work without its pen. It was kind of heavy too. I don't remember when it was.
I don't think it
I'm
was that long ago.
Okay, I think we're digressing. Let's wrap up the show,
Oh, yeah.
guys. It's an hour
So,
and 30
really?
minutes.
anyways, do check out Seinfeld. And Ghazal, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, I think
Plug as in anything that you would like the listeners to be directed to, like the Instagram page, YouTube channel, or whatever.
no. No,
Well,
I'm
Okay.
good.
if you want to see more of Ghazal, well, that's too bad for you. You can't.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, I guess that's it. Join us next week, as we don't know what we will discuss. We do have a list, but it all depends on Amir talking to someone. So it may
Yeah.
never happen.
Okay. So see you next
Well,
time, unless we die or don't feel like it.
yes.
This was
Which the
really
latter
fun.
is
Thank you guys for having me.
fun.
Thank you for
This
being
was
on.
amazingly fun for us. Thank you for being here. And I know it took me 3 seasons to finally be able to drag you to the show. But thank you for finally showing up and mustering up enough courage to put all the stress and anxiety aside. So I appreciate all the effort you put into this.
It's all there.
Me too. Me too. I do appreciate it, even though I didn't know about the anxiety and all of that stuff.
Yeah, she puts on a strong face.
I mean, strongish. So,
I do my best.
yes. See you all next week. No, not next week. Next episode.
Next episode, yeah.
We want to thank you for listening to our podcast. We want to thank you for listening to our shitty podcast. Yet another shitty podcast. We are deeply happy inside, and you don't have anything better to do. Don't waste your time here with us. YASP. Yet another shitty podcast. Another shitty podcast. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
I didn't say bye. Nobody said
That's
bye.
okay.
That's
No
okay.
one needs to listen to bye. We can put it in post credits.
Yeah.